Hey guys, welcome back to this place. And if you're new, then welcome here for the very first time.
What?
Your little that noise. Yeah.
She keeps making fun of my bones.
It's not his bones, it's his watch.
It's my bones.
I
crushed this wrist and she just thinks it's hilarious. Look at the scars.
That is not an accurate representation of what is happening.
What is?
Your watch is squeaking.
Likely story.
I'm Carmen.
I'm Calvin.
And today we're going to watch Season 3, Episode 11 of Avatar: The Last Airbender. This is Part 2 of Day of Black Sun. And we left off kind of with everything up in the air, so I don't want to really talk too much. Avatar. Aang.
It's synonymous.
Aang went into the fire, the palace, right?
Went in the throne room.
Yeah, and nobody is there. So...
Fire Lord Ozai! Where are you?
Right. Which, the way you did that was like, Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you?
That's kind of how it was.
He wasn't like, oh, Ozai, where are you? I'm here to kick your butt now. Sorry, anyway, let's just watch this episode.
I was wondering how long you were going to go with this joke.
It's over. The Fire Lord is probably long gone.
My instincts tell me he wouldn't go too far.
Yeah.
He would have a secret bunker, somewhere he could go and be safe during a siege, but still be close enough to lead his nation.
If it's an underground secret bunker we're looking for, I'm just the girl to
Right?
It looks like we've got about 10 minutes until the full eclipse. 10 minutes to find the Fire Lord.
That's a tight window.
Maybe we should use the time we have left to make sure we all get out of here safely.
Everyone who's here today came prepared to risk everything for this mission. They know what's at stake.
What do you think? You're the one that has to face the Fire Lord. Whatever you decide, I'm with you.
I think he's gonna do it.
I've got to try.
He doesn't want to fail twice, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a structure somewhere?
There's something big, dense, and made of metal deep in the heart of the volcano.
Sounds like a secret bunker to me.
This way! That one's a dead end!
What would we do without you?
Perish in burning hot magma.
Right. I mean, you wouldn't even be here.
There's no floor. It's just a river of lava.
Climb aboard and hold on tight.
Gosh.
Be especially bad for
Toph.
Toph.
Yeah.
Because she can't see.
She's
or
literally
anything.
flying blind. Yeah.
She's just hanging on.
Not a problem.
I am so glad we added you to the group.
Right.
She's such a badass. She just pushes her way through
She is.
a steel bulkhead.
She's like, this is gonna be easy. Where's the challenge?
The Fire Lord's chamber is that way, down the hall to the left and up the stairs. You can't miss.
Thanks.
Only 30 seconds
Oh,
until the
God.
total eclipse.
I'm ready.
What if he's not in there either?
Hmm?
I said, what if he's not in there either? Oh, it's Azula.
So, you are alive
I
after
could tell
all.
by the way she had her legs crossed.
I had a hunch that you survived. But it doesn't matter. I've known about the invasion for months.
I'm ready to face you.
He's gonna fight those eyes. This is what I was worried about, but I didn't even want to say it. Because that scares me. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Put on your eclipse glasses.
Ooh.
First of all, in Ba Sing Se, it was Azula who took down the Avatar. not me.
Why would she lie to me about that?
Because the Avatar's not dead. He survived.
What?
In fact, he's probably leading this invasion.
Get out! Get out of my sight right now. You know what's good for you.
That's another thing. I'm not taking orders from you anymore. Think again. I am going to speak my mind, and you are going to listen.
When I left Ba Sing Se, I brought home some souvenirs. Dai Li agents.
Honestly, he should just leave the room because she's gonna waste all his time talking to her. You know? I'd be like, alright, you can't tell me anything, bye. I don't have time for this. You know?
Surrender peacefully and we won't harm you.
We'll never surrender. Okay, we surrender.
Immediately.
Yeah. It's like, okay, just kidding.
For so long, all I wanted was for you to love me, to accept me. I thought it was my honor that I wanted, but really, I was just trying to please you. My father, who banished me just for talking out of turn. My father, who challenged me, a 13-year-old boy.
He was 13?
It was cruel, and it was wrong.
Then you've learned nothing.
No, I've learned everything, and I've had to learn it on my own.
Oh, and Iroh.
Growing up, we were taught that the Fire Nation was the greatest civilization in history, and somehow, the war was our way of sharing our greatness with the rest of the world. What an amazing lie that was. They hate us, and we deserve it. We've created an era of fear in the world.
Yeah.
And if we don't want the world to destroy itself, we need to replace it with an era of peace and kindness.
Your uncle has gotten to you, hasn't he?
He should be so proud.
Yes, he has.
He smiled. I'm proud of Zuko. Sokka, you could have helped there a little bit.
Yeah.
Been like stopping you.
Wait! Aang! Toph! Stop attacking! Don't you see what she's doing? She's just playing with us. She's not even trying to win this fight.
You're trying to keep us here and waste all our
Yeah.
time.
We just have to get out of here and find the Fire Lord on our own somehow.
It's a trap. Don't say I didn't warn you.
Ignore!
So, Sokka's your name, right? My favorite prisoner used to mention you all the time. She was convinced you were going to come rescue her. Of course, you never came.
Sokka.
Where is Suki?
After I leave here today, I'm gonna free Uncle Iroh from his prison, and I'm gonna beg for his forgiveness. He's the one who's been a real father to me. But I've come to an even more important decision. I'm going to join the Avatar, and I'm going to help him defeat you.
Really? You've got your swords. Why don't you just do it now?
Because I know my own destiny. Taking you down is the Avatar's destiny. Goodbye.
Coward! You think you're brave enough to face me, but you'll only do it during the eclipse. If you have any real courage, you'll stick around until the sun comes out. Don't you want to know what happened to your mother?
How evil can you be?
My father, Fire Lord Azulon, had commanded me to do the unthinkable to you, my own son. And I was going to do it. Your mother found out and swore she would protect you at any cost. She knew I wanted the throne, and she proposed a plan in which I would become Fire Lord, and your life would be spared.
Sokka, she won't talk.
She's just trying to keep you there, like you already said.
Your mother did vicious treasonous things that night. She knew the consequences and accepted them. For her treason, she was banished.
So she's alive.
She's out there.
Perhaps. Now I realize that banishment is far too merciful a penalty for treason. Your penalty will be far steeper.
You literally told her to commit treason. Like, Zuko did it!
The eclipse is over, but I can face the Fire Lord anyway.
No, I don't think that's a good idea.
I don't think you're ready yet.
The Fire Lord knew we were coming this time. We thought we had surprise on our side, but we didn't. It just wasn't our day. What we need to do now is go help our
Regroup.
friends.
I guess you guys are right.
You'll have another chance. I know you will.
Haven't even mastered firebending yet. You're not ready.
Mm-hmm.
Now that the eclipse is over, I expect we're going to see some firebenders any minute.
Oh, their invention. What the hell are those?
They're back.
They're like ships that are floating.
Zeppelin.
It was all a trap. Azula knew we were coming and she's plotted out every move. We've just got to get to the beach as fast as we can. If we can make it to the submarines, maybe we can get away safely.
They've got air power, but so do I. I'm gonna do what I can to slow them down.
Appa, you and I can help too.
Everyone, let's get back to the subs.
You might want to hurry. Down you go. You two. Death to
They're
everyone.
so dead. They're literally just falling out of the sky with an empty parachute. Or upside down parachute, I should say.
We can't keep them all back. There are too many of them.
Let's join the others.
They got two, so I guess it's better than nothing. Is Ira already gone?
Uncle! Where's my uncle?
He's gone. He busted himself out. I've never seen anything like it. He was like a one-man army.
You didn't call him the Dragon of the West, right? For nothing.
Why aren't they turning around to attack us again?
They're gonna destroy the submarines.
They're gonna destroy the submarines.
How are we all gonna escape?
We're not. You kids have to leave. You have to escape on Appa together.
What? We can't leave you behind. We won't leave anyone behind.
You're our only chance in the long run. You and Sokka have to go with Aang somewhere safe. It's the only way to keep hope alive.
The youngest of our group should go with you. The adults will stay behind and surrender. We'll be prisoners, but we'll all survive this battle.
Hopefully. Oh no, swamp people! Okay, he's alive. I was like, oh my gosh.
Bye, son.
Bye, Dad. I'm really proud of you.
I'll miss you, Pipsqueak.
Take care, the Duke.
It's too small.
We lost today, but we've never been this close. We tasted victory, and that counts for something.
We'll miss you, Dad.
Zuko's gonna show up.
Thank you all for being so brave and so strong. I'm gonna make this up to you. I know just the place for us to go where we'll be safe for a while. The Western Air Temple.
That's Zuko. proud of Zuko.
So you cried.
No, I didn't. You have no proof of that. Still on my face. I started tearing up with like Zuko and his whole like speech to Ozai, because like it's sorry. It's everything that I wanted for him for so long, you know? Like for him to finally realize that like Ozai couldn't give him what he wanted, and that Iroh was his real dad all along, you know, and he was the one that he loved, that loved him and let him be himself and helped him to become who he is and everything. And just to see him like stand up for himself and to say he's gonna join the Avatar and fight against them, you know, it's like I just feel so proud.
Yeah.
You know, I love him, and I feel very proud of him, and I wish that Iroh could have been there and seen that moment, and you know, because I think he would have been so proud, and I hope that he knows that, I hope him and Zuko will find each other, and he'll know what Zuko did, because like that's very important to me, you know.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important too and powerful for Zuko to understand the truth of what the Fire Nation is, you know? He's like, we were taught a lie. We were taught that this is the way things were, and it was actually a much darker, more horrifying truth underneath that lie. And everybody else knew it but us. And you know, I'm not saying that it harkens to a certain country that we both live in, but
yeah,
you know, it feels very weirdly pointed. And in particular, just in today's society, you know, where we're becoming more and more aware of, you know, atrocities and things like that, you know, but that's a conversation for a different day. But I felt very proud of him, and the conversation about his mom too, which I knew that would make Zuko stop. Like he loves his mom. She was the one who actually cared about him, the parent that he connected with, and I didn't know that she had anything to do with Azulan's death, you know, but the fact that she would make a deal with Ozai to protect Zuko and allow herself to be banished. Like I knew that she wasn't, or I thought that she wasn't dead, that she had left. Remember, like this, like it seemed in that episode, the flashback, that she had been forced to leave for some reason, and I felt it had to have been to protect Zuko, you know, and obviously it was, but just Ozai's so fucking stupid. Like I'm trying to think of a different way to say it, but like he's so blinded by power, whatever, that he doesn't even see the irony in what he's saying, because he's like, you know, yeah, I banished her for her treason, and I'm like, the treason that you told her to do, that you cooked up with her, like that. Now I realize I was too easy on her. Like you orchestrated it. Like I mean, granted, yeah, he was just gonna, I'm assuming, based off of the vague things that he said, that his father wanted him to kill Zuko. And his mom was like, if you don't kill Zuko, like, you want to be Fire Lord, right? Don't kill Zuko, kill your father, or I'll kill your father. I don't know exactly what happened. And then you can be Fire Lord and you just spare Zuko. And I'll leave, or whatever. You know, you can blame it on, like, you can send me away, like, I can be the scapegoat, or whatever, right? Although, nobody ever found out about it publicly, right? He died in his sleep, or whatever they said, you know, the story. And so, granted, he was going to do something worse. Like, he was going to kill his own son. And then he just killed, or had his father killed. I mean, he has no loyalty to anybody, clearly. He either had his dad killed to gain power, or was gonna kill his son. Like,
Yeah.
there's no...
As punishment for
good.
trying to seize power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's no good out of that, you know? Like, you're the bad guy.
No, yeah.
Clearly.
That's...
In every iteration of this.
That was this deep punishment that Azulon was trying to bestow on Ozai.
And he was going to do it. Like, he didn't care. Like, I don't think he even cared. I don't think... Like, he said, like, yeah, I was going to do it. Like, I don't think that there was, like, a moment of hesitation and he was like, oh, should I? I think he was just like, okay, yeah, sure. I mean, I don't know, but...
He wanted to make Azulon happy, you know? It's like the lengths that Zuko would go to make Ozai happy.
But he wouldn't kill Iroh.
But that's because Iroh had an influence on him.
And his mom.
If Zuko, yeah, and his mom. If Zuko had no positive influence and Ozai told him to kill his son or his sister or something like that to stay in good graces.
Yeah. The question I have now is, would Azula? You know? Because she's always been, like, the evil one, right? But we have seen moments of hesitation with her, you know? Like, around the fire and everything. Like, yeah, she was also, like, bitchy and performatively, like, laughing at everybody. But there was moments when people weren't looking at her where she was, like, vulnerable for, like, a split second. Like, she's like, my mother said I was a monster, you know? And, like, well, yeah, like, she was right. But you could tell that, like, it upset her still. Like, she has, like, there's still a part of her that's not been corrupted, you know? Now, I just don't know how big that part is.
Yeah.
So.
And that also goes back to...
She didn't have Iroh.
She didn't have Iroh, and her mother...
Favored Zuko.
And also whether she favored her or whether she favored Zuko or not, she still abandoned them in her eyes. You know?
Yeah. She was, like... I think that where Zuko... I don't know. Like, where Zuko was so connected to their mom that he was upset that she left, Azula was more connected to their dad. And so she was, like listening to what he said, right? Like, oh, she abandoned us. Like, she left, you know? Whereas Zuko was like, she left. I don't know how to describe it. Like it's they thought the same thing, but in vastly different reasonings behind, you know?
Yeah.
Like, Zuko blamed probably himself, his father, whatever, for whatever happened to their mom. Whereas Azula blamed their mom, you know? So...
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Which goes back to the abandonment. Like, if their mother has no one to blame but herself, then it must be her choice as to why she left.
Yeah.
So, in Azula's mind, being even younger than Zuko, but also being maybe slightly more aware of what was happening in court, you know, she saw the favoritism, she saw the betrayal of, like, well, why doesn't she feel that way about me? Why doesn't she save me from Dad?
Yeah.
You know? Like she is Zuko.
Yeah.
And then she just falls more into the pattern
of Ozai. And his, like, trap, you know. I find their family dynamic very interesting and sad, honestly. It's
very tragic.
I didn't realize, although I guess I should have, because Zuko was about 16 when the show started, and I think he's, like, maybe 17 now. But
Zuko, he's a year older than Sokka, I believe. So Sokka's 17, Zuko's 18.
Not. I think he's 16. I think last time when we looked it up, he was 16.
I don't think so. Okay, that site's confusing.
Is it confusing because I'm right?
Well, how they have them listed out is confusing. But after sifting through shit, apparently.
Anyway, my point with saying that in the first place was, I guess I should have realized that Zuko would have been so young when the Agni Kai happened, but I don't know. Like, he looked young and he looked so innocent and carefree, But like, I was just attributing that to the fact that he hadn't been like completely like turned off from the world because of what happened in the Agni Kai and being banished and everything. So it's just, and I know that like Aang is 12 and I think Toph is like 12 too and everything, but for some reason like Zuko being 13 and having his father challenge him to a freaking
To a duel of honor.
Yeah, to a duel of honor.
An Agni Kai.
Yeah, which is to the death, right? Like, didn't Iroh step in, or no? He just lost, right? So it's just honor. It's not to the death. But
I mean,
still.
they can be. That's what. Oh shoot. Zhao wanted.
Yeah. But Iroh didn't step in there. He was shocked, and Azula was laughing. Remember? Because that's before we knew who Azula was, and I'm like, who is this bitch that's laughing?
Yeah.
You know, and then, you know, it makes sense now. But just, can you, like, you're 13 years old, like, that's, I mean, I've never been a 13-year-old boy, but I imagine, like, that's when you're, like, most looking up to your dad to try to figure out who you're trying to be and, like, you know, stuff like that, because you're so young and you're, you know.
Yeah.
Like, was it Rurouni Kenshin?
Don't say if it was.
No, it's not a spoiler. It's just, there's a quote, and it's set, and it's like, I think it's supposed to be like a Japanese quote or something in the manga that says, men are said to grow up watching the backs of the men who walked before them or something, right? And so it's like, you know, he's trying to be a kid and watch the, you know, his influences, who's his dad. And, you know, when you're a kid, you want to please your parents, especially when you're younger and all that stuff. And so it makes it extra sad to me that he was a 13-year-old kid and then his dad did that. And I think it just makes it, even though I should have been aware, and I think I was on some level, I think it just illuminates even further, like, why he had such a need to go back and try to gain his dad's approval, you know? Because he was so young the last time he saw him, and his whole life since then has been trying to get his honor back, to do this thing that felt so important to him. Like he said in the episode, you know? And then he got it, and he realized that's not who I am. And I loved so much, sorry, this entire post episode is going to be talking about Zuko, but I loved so much.
As if we didn't know that was going to happen anyway.
I loved so much the moment of him, of Ozai trying to like bait him, you know? Like, oh, well, you can defeat me right now. Like, why don't you do that? And he just puts his sword away and he's like, that's the Avatar's destiny. I know what mine is. And that's not it, you know? Like, he wants to make the Fire Nation a nation to actually be proud of. He wants to make a change and, like, make it peaceful and all that stuff. And I don't know. It's just, I am so happy that he's done Iroh so proud in that moment, you know? And I, like, again, I'm just sad that Iroh didn't get to see it because, like, I think he just would have been, like, crying on the floor or something, you know? Because he just would have been so proud. And
yeah.
I was just so proud for him, you know? And I'm proud that Iroh escaped. I knew he was going to do it. And I'm glad that it was that dick that he did it to, you know?
Poon.
Yeah. And I really hope that they meet up, and I hope that when Zuko shows up at the Western Air Temple following them, that they give him a chance, you know? Because there's a lot of water under that bridge, you know, that they're going to have to, like, sift through to understand each other.
There's a lot of bridge over that water.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Water under the bridge is like, let bygones be bygones. This is present. This is not bygone yet. Bygone.
Also, I think the last thing I want to say about Zuko is we have official confirmation that his mother is out there somewhere. I fought in Ba Sing Se a long time ago. Remember? I was like, oh my god, she's gonna be in Ba Sing Se. It's the one place the Fire Nation can't go. It would be the perfect place to hide, you know? But I feel like the fact that they mentioned that she's out there Like, we have to see her at some point now, right? Like, we have to. I hope. Also, can I just say?
No. We're done.
No, we're not. It is a little frustrating because Aang is fighting Azula, you know, and they're fighting Azula the whole time. And she's just talking and blah, blah. And I'm like, just be like, okay, I get what you're trying to do. Bye. And leave and go try to find the Fire Lord. Like, you don't have time for this. But they kept, you know, just doing that. And then Sokka was finally like, hey, actually, we don't have time for this. Let's go. And then, you know, she said the thing about Suki, which obviously is going to make Sokka stay. But
yeah, he's already got some unfortunate memories of losing Yue.
And, you know, it sucks that Suki is in a prison somewhere, apparently. You know, which, I mean, obviously she's been captured because we knew when they took over for them that they had their clothes and everything. So it's not like they didn't just like strip and run away naked, you know. So
well, yeah, I mean, she's been captive since
season 2. Appa's Lost Days is like the last
Appa
episode.
alone.
Yeah. Appa's Lost Days.
Yeah, it's Zuko.
Yeah. Although Appa was alone. Unfortunately. That was really sad. But we're not talking about that episode. But I guess I didn't think of where Suki was, you know? Like, I knew that they were pretending to be them, and I guess I was like, oh.
That sucks.
Yeah, but I wasn't like, oh wait, yeah, where is she? Like, what's happening to her?
You just assumed she died and didn't care.
No, that's not
Forgot
true.
to talk about her. That's what happened.
That's not true. I just assume, I don't know. I guess I did assume she had been captured, but like, I guess weirdly, I assumed that they like took their stuff and then were just like left them.
Okay, bye.
Yeah.
So you literally thought they were naked somewhere.
No, I mean, I thought they like traded clothes with them or something. I don't know. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. This isn't like the Parent Trap or whatever, but like, or Freaky Friday. They're not like, oh, we're switching. But I don't know. I didn't think of her being in a prison somewhere, and the rest of, you know, the Warriors of Kyoshi being in a prison somewhere, but they are.
That would be a crazy episode of Job Swap where you switch armies. I think they call that espionage, and you can be shot for it.
Yeah. I think that it's really sad, and obviously, you know, it made me cry at the end of the episode about their dad and Beto and like the other Bato, yeah, and the other adult waterbenders, earthbenders, everybody that's an adult and not, you know, one of the very few children that were there.
Tyro.
Yeah. And how they're just going to have to stay behind and hopefully be prisoners. You know, they assume that they'll be taken prisoner. Like, we can hope that that's what's going to happen. I worry that something worse may happen, you know, because Ozai's not very forgiving. He was going to kill his son, okay? This is not somebody who can be reasoned with exactly, so.
Well, he can be reasoned with when he wants the throne of the Fire Nation.
Yeah, but he already has that. So, I don't know.
Ursa reasoned with him.
It frustrates me that Azula is always like one step ahead. Like Sokka made a great plan, and somehow she still knew what his plan was going. Like, how is this bitch psychic?
Well, not necessarily that she knew the plan, but she knew that there would be an invasion. And basically, she just needed to be a sponge. She just needed to be a punching bag that the invasion force could beat up on and feel really good about themselves and tire themselves out and waste all their time until Day of Black Sun was over.
Yeah. Which is not that hard. It's like, okay, all I have to do is distract somebody for 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, I can distract somebody for 8 minutes. If it's like 24 hours, then it'd be a lot harder. But it's literally 8 minutes. It's like, okay, I just have to... And she wasn't even like...
She wasn't secretive about it.
No, and she wasn't even trying. Like Sokka said, it's like she's not even trying to win the fight. You realize, like, 'cause she wasn't going for the jugular. She was just avoiding...
Well, there's not a whole lot that she could do. I mean,
she could have killed him.
Granted, she was doing just fine without any bending and stuff, but like she didn't have her bending. She was relying on the Dai Li.
Yeah.
You know, to do most of the heavy lifting.
She was acrobating her way around. Like she was she was fine, I think. But
as far as taking the fight to them,
no.
You know.
But it's still like it was just, the thing is, it was frustratingly obvious. And the thing is, she didn't even have to make it a secret, like you said, because all she has to do is distract them. And she knows she has information that can distract them. And that's all she has to use. And Azula is like a fucking master manipulator with information. So when she knew she had that, she knew that she won. You know? Like, she didn't even have to try anymore. Like, when they started walking away, she was 0% worried because she knew that she could pull out the Suki card.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. It's just frustrating. Like, I assume that Aang is going to be frustrated because this is another time that he's going to feel like he let everybody down because he didn't get to the Fire Lord, right? He got distracted or tied up with Azula. And he didn't even defeat her. Like, you know?
Yeah.
He didn't do anything. It's like he went to the finish line and then it was right there and he just stood at it for 8 minutes and then it disappeared and then he couldn't pass it, you know? It's like, and I mean, like, I understand why, but I just feel like Aang is gonna take it pretty personally, you know? Ooh. Something I forgot to talk about Zuko. Is that he used the lightning. He used lightning.
He didn't.
Well, he deflected it back to Ozai. Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't, like, create it, but he...
No, yeah. He channeled it.
He pushed it.
He channeled it.
Yeah.
Yes. Pushed it.
Iroh would be proud, is all I'm saying.
He would be. Iroh taught him that technique.
Mm-hmm.
And he did that with no practice.
Mm-hmm. And it saved his life.
Other than doing the kata.
Yeah.
You know,
but it saved his life.
Taking it and then to the stomach and then back out. But
Iroh literally saved his life.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
Not the first time.
I said multiple times.
He saved his own life for learning and actually pulling off the move in a real fight against his father.
And he threw him against the wall, and then he was like, peace. And then he left. And Ozai had a red face, and he was all embarrassed and mad.
It's because there was fire.
No. It's because he was embarrassed. As he should have been. Can you guess who my favorite character is?
Just end the video.
Is there anything else you want to say?
Many things.
We know how this goes. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if you want, you can like, comment, and subscribe if you aren't already. This is probably my favorite episode. I like this episode. Sorry, I'm gonna keep talking for a second. This episode, I mean, I like all the episodes, but this episode, the Avatar and the Fire Lord was really good. Appa's Lost Days was really good, but really sad. Zuko alone. There's sort of a pattern to most of these episodes.
Huh, imagine that!
You can watch the next episode right now over on Patreon, which will be linked in the description down below, as well as the entire full-length reaction to this episode. Yeah. That's it for now, though. Until next time. Bye, guys!